Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video. If you're new to this channel, obviously welcome, and if you're returning, thank you for returning back as well. So in today's video I'm going to do a very quick guide on using the Dwarf 3 for the Milky Way. So I went out 2 nights ago and I did a proper Milky Way shot. It's 110 exposures, around 30 seconds, so a good amount of time. I'll show you that at the end, so you have to stick around for that. But I didn't film it because I was out with friends and I wanted to just trial it as well and see if I got it right before showing you on this video today. So I'll go through the guide on my phone, show you how to set it up, and you can capture your own amazing Milky Way objects. So let's get into this. So before we get into this, we need to do the basic setup. So as for the basic setup, I've gone into astrophotography mode and I've done my autofocus as you would do anyway, and now let's go into EQ mode and set up EQ mode beforehand. So I'll skip through that now. If you want more detailed video on how to do all this stuff, you can link to my in-depth video on the full Dwarf setup for the deep sky objects, and that will show you everything you'll need to do. I just don't want to cover it again now because I want to make this short and sweet. So just do some EQ mode and I'll come back to you in a second. Perfect, so I'm set up in equatorial mode. So for those that don't know what equatorial mode is, that was what's going to allow me to track the objects as they move across. So I've essentially polar aligned the Dwarf 3. I'm at 1% deviation and I think that's absolutely fine, especially when we're doing wide targets. So now that's done, what I'm going to want to do is on the app, I'm going to want to go to the wide angle. I'll go into the wide angle options, and then in functions go to parameters. You can obviously make sure you're on the wide tab, leave shutter at auto for now, set your gain at 110, 120. That's how I've been doing it, 120. And I want you to go back to focus and essentially autofocus again. I don't really understand why you have to do this. I have asked Dwarf Labs to see why you have to refocus again, because what it actually does, it actually uses the telephoto lens to refocus, so it doesn't really make sense because you can't actually focus the wide angle lens. Very strange, I know. We're going to do that, and whilst that's quickly autofocusing, next step we're going to want to do is find a galaxy in the Milky Way. So I'm a little bit limited in my south-facing island. We've got very high trees there, so I'm not going to be able to get the core of the Milky Way, but I'm going to go somewhere around the Cygnus area and focus around that. So now that I've focused and I see all my stars are perfect circles, let's go to the Atlas and let's just scroll around for something in Cygnus. You're probably wondering why have I selected target in that as a deep space target. Well, the reason is because it will allow me to focus and track the movement on that, and that is the key importance for this here, because you still want it to rotate and track that, especially if you're doing multiple exposures. If you're only doing 1 or 2, it doesn't really make much difference, but I want to be doing hours of footage if possible. So let's say it's do its thing, and we'll skip to that part now. Perfect, so I'm now tracking on Cygnus. I'm using the C27, as you can see on the app right now. So what I want to do now is essentially get ready to shoot. Now you will be able to see that you can see part of the house on this. So obviously I would wait, or if I was out in another location, I'll be able to shoot. But as I say, this is purely just for you guys for this one here. So what I want to do is go to parameters, and then this is where I'm going to set my shutter speed. So I'm probably going to go and do, say, 30 seconds. And I'm going to do gain 60 because I did gain 50 beforehand, and I know that that was in a Bottle 4, whereas it's a Bottle 5, so I'm going to need a little bit extra punch. And then just set your count to whatever you want. I'm just going to do 20 for this little experiment. And that's it. Hit play, let it take these, and then we can see what the results are, and you can let me know what you think. And then what I'll do is I'll show you the photo I got the other night with 110 frames, I think 110, 108, something like that, and you can see the big difference in the details and why this is good. As you can tell, this wasn't very successful, so having part of the house in overexposed the image. So what I have done is I've moved to a different target, which is a bit further along in the Milky Way, in between the house and the trees, to get a far better photo for you, and you will see that now. As always, if you like this video, please like and potentially subscribe if you want to, because it really helps the channel, and leave a little comment as well if this is helpful as well. Until then, see you next time.